Welcome back today for another album review. That's two in a row. Today I got a really good one. An album that I've owned for a number of years, but I would say owned it on vinyl. But I would say in the last couple months, I really started listening to it, getting into it more. This is the fourth album by a very popular British prog and hard rock band. Their fourth album, released March 19th, 1971, recorded in 1970, the year prior, in Island Studios in London and Morgan Studios in London for the Chrysalis label in Europe and Reprise label in America, produced by Ian Anderson and Terry Ellis. This is Aqualung by Jethro Tull. Get a good look of it right there. There's the back cover. Yeah, like I said, this is their fourth album, a pretty widely praised prog and hard rock album in the classic rock genre. Let me go ahead and get you the band members. Ian Anderson, the kind of de facto leader of the band, lead vocals, lead singer. He played acoustic guitar and flute. He's well known for his flute playing on stage. Martin Barr on guitar, Jeffrey Hammond on bass guitar, John Evans on piano, organ, and mellotron, and Clive Bunker on drums and percussion. So a 5-member band. And I got the kind of inside artwork. And the album cover, apparently Ian Anderson's wife saw a homeless man in England, and that was inspiration for the cover art. The idea for the cover came from a photograph of Anderson's wife took of a homeless man on the River Thames embankment, and Anderson later felt it would have been better to have used the photograph rather than commission the painting. Ian Anderson recalls posing for a photograph for the painting, though Silverman claims it was a self-portrait. So yeah, it does kind of look like Ian Anderson to me. He kind of had the long, crazy hair and beard. The genre of this album is considered progressive rock, folk rock, and hard rock. I'm not the most well-versed in the rest of their catalog. This is probably by far the album I'm the most familiar with. It's the only one I own. I really do like Benefit, though, the one that came before, but again, not too familiar with the rest of this catalog, just kind of this one, which is kind of the probably most well-known kind of the casual fans album they're the most familiar with. So usually I'm kind of a more of an obscure band guy, but in this case, I own the popular release by this band. So let's get into the track listing. It kicks off on side 1 with the title track of the album, Aqualung. Bum, 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 bum. Great riff. Just a phenomenal song. The interplay between Martin Barr's guitar and Ian Anderson's vocals is just incredible. It's a 6.5 minute long epic with that whole riff that carries it. You kind of have an acoustic folky interlude in the chorus of the song. Again, the lyrics are really kind of weird and off the wall. Kind of the guy on the cover, they're kind of singing about him. He's kind of like this, greasy, kind of shabby old guy, kind of sitting by the river, eyeing people with evil intent or whatever. Really kind of quirky, kind of whimsical, kind of hard to figure out lyrics, but this album was kind of considered at the time of its release to be a concept album about religion and stuff like that, and like social constructs of like homelessness and whatnot. But Ian Anderson has later come out and said it is not actually a concept album. The following album, Thick as a Brick, is considered more their concept album, but this is not theoretically a concept album, although when you listen to it, it kind of sounds like it. The next track, but yeah, Aqualung, phenomenal song. Just a stone cold classic from the band. Really just kind of takes you on a journey tells a story. The next song, Cross-Eyed Mary, another great song, a hard-charging, hard rock song with a great riff. Just a kind of snarling vocal from Ian Anderson. Great acoustic guitar in here, and he gets some flute going in here. Phenomenal flute player. Then the next song, inspired by a visit with his terminally ill father in a hospital, is called Cheap Day Return. It's a shorter track, just over a minute. Kind of whimsical, folksy, slower, kind of moody and melancholy, as a lot of these songs are, and the album theme as a whole, I would say, is kind of moody and melancholy. Mother Goose is the next song. That's a fun, real upbeat, up-tempo, quirky kind of song. Very, very British sounding, very English sounding, very Ian Anderson sounding. A lot of great guitar and flute in that song. Wondering Aloud is the next song, and that's a shorter song, kind of folksy, more of a kind of low-key vocal from Ian Anderson on that one. Very folksy, again, very British sounding. Sounds like something you'd listen to like in the woods in England or something, like sitting around a campfire or something. Up to Me, the last track on side one, is phenomenal. Great vocal from Ian Anderson on that one. That's kind of more of a harder rocking song. And that's a phenomenal side one. Not a bad song. Even the shorter kind of not whole songs, the kind of, the filler stuff between the two songs, they're really good also. Side two kicks off with the song My God, a 7-minute long epic. Great song. I mean, probably the best song on the album with Aqualung, the title track. My God is a phenomenal song. Heavy, just got a real kind of doomy, almost Black Sabbath type riff in it, with some killer. I'm not a big flute guy, but some killer flute playing from Ian Anderson in that song. My God is just a phenomenal song. It takes you on a journey, just like Aqualung, from beginning to end. It's kind of moody and mellow in the beginning, and then kind of gets real heavy and just boom, hits you and takes you on a journey. My God's a great song. Hymn 43, great song. A little more low-key, a little more whimsical and melancholy. Slipstream is another one of those shorter, kind of minute-long interlude songs that leads right into another pretty famous song of theirs, Locomotive Breath, which starts off the first minute kind of acoustic, kind of folksy, and then just kicks into kind of a hard-charging, kind of really just hard rock, classic rock song with great guitar playing, drumming, and vocals from Ian Anderson. He's really just belting out the lyrics on that one. And then the last song is a really kind of fun, quirky, kind of weird song called Wind Up, kind of about Ian Anderson singing about his childhood when they, sent him off to school, or to church with like the Bible under his arm, kind of trying to, again, those kind of religious themes are coming into the lyrics here, where he's talking about like, maybe as a child, religion and was taught to him to be the same as God, but again, God could be seen as very separate from religion in kind of societal eyes of, I guess, England in the early, 50s, 60s, whenever he was a kid. Really just kind of interesting lyrics, kind of, I think Ian Anderson is wanting to sound like he's singing from the perspective of a fictional character, but it kind of sounds autobiographical to me, that song. About kind of like being a kid and being sent to school, like I mentioned, kind of sounds like he's singing about his past experience. Again, we don't really know. I did read some Wikipedia on the album, but I didn't really find much on that. I did want to go ahead and show the actual record. Very nice condition, no scratches, plays really well. Very, very mint condition. So yeah, the little inside fold, we got the little Aqualung guy on there. You got lyrics on here for all the songs, and really great lyrics. I mean, Ian Anderson, what a phenomenal songwriter and lyricist and flute player. He was just and still is. They just released 2 albums in the last 2 years. So they're still going strong today. Ian Anderson still releasing albums as Jethro Tull today. I haven't listened to them, but I've heard rave reviews on them that they're really good, so I probably need to check those out. But yeah, what a talent Ian Anderson was and is in his late 70s. He's still going strong, man. And they released an album in last year, 2023, April, called Rock Flock, I believe. And then before that, 2022, was the Zealot Gene. So yeah, he is 76 years old. Still releasing albums. Yep, Rock Flock released April 2023, and the Zealot Gene released 2022, both of which get good ratings on music sites and whatnot. So yeah, from the late 60s all the way to today, they're releasing albums. Again, I need to explore their catalog more in depth, but I would say this is the one I'm the most familiar with, the only one I own. I really love it. This is a stone cold prog and hard rock classic, folk rock, kind of a little of everything on this album. So I would give this a 95 out of 100, 4.5 out of 5 stars, however you want to slice it. Either way, great album. I highly recommend you check out Aqualung by Jethro Tull. Thank you for watching this album review. We'll see you next time.